a device for smoking a whole pack of cigarettes in the 1950s. The Snow Cruiser is an all-terrain vehicle that was built by the Illinois Institute of Technology in 1939 for an expedition to Antarctica. Anti-fascist demonstration in New York City on May Day, 1929. Workers at the Moscow-Tretgonaya Manufacturer factory do industrial exercises at the start of the workday, 1960. A very young Ava Gardner. Frederick Douglass in one of his last talks in public, 26th of March, 1892. (1944) burnt-out car. The interior of a house located on a test site where the American military conducted nuclear weapons experiments. Dummies play the roles of people. 1954, artist unknown. Janet Leigh and daughter, Jamie Lee Curtis, 1960s. Twiggy by Helmut Newton for British Vogue, 1967. On November 30th, 1964, Sir Winston Churchill turned 90. The man who had led Britain through its darkest hours during World War II now sat surrounded by his family at his Hyde Park Gate home in London. Einstein and his wife, Elsa, leave on a 6-month boat journey to the Far East in October, 1922. When they checked into their hotel in Japan, thousands of people stood outside waiting for the Einsteins to wave from the balcony. Cannon firing the W-9 nuclear artillery projectile, which detonated with a yield of 15 kilotons above Frenchman Flat in Nevada. This was the first and only nuclear projectile to be fired from a cannon, 1953. A 1912 shot of a woman plugging in her electric car. Two flappers demonstrating the Charleston dance on a rooftop ledge of the Sherman Hotel in Chicago, 1926. Residents of Sofia greet Red Army soldiers with flowers, 1944. Children playing with a toy guillotine, France, 1959. (1940), a donkey named Jacko at a New Year's party given for children evacuated from London in January 1940. Drew Barrymore gives Stephen King a run for his money. A model showing off this West Los Angeles atomic bomb shelter at Santa Monica Boulevard, 1951. Salvador Dalí, Portligat, Spain, 1963. February 28, 1977, Christy McNichol and Joyce DeWitt lend a hand to a sidelined Dan Haggerty after he sustained an injury during the filming of Battle of the Network Stars. Crackdown on anti-Vietnam War protest in the United States, 1968. Three children dressed up for trick-or-treating circa 1925. Skinheads, London, 70s. Federal Prohibition agents and New York City police removing kegs of illegal wine from a cellar confiscated during a raid at 38 Cherry Street on Manhattan's Lower East Side on April 27, 1921. A French soldier poses with a local girl in traditional costume and a removed German sign naming a square in liberated Mulhouse, 1944. A young girl looks after her baby sister in the poverty of cholera-ravaged streets of Spitalfields in the East End of London, 1886. A moonshine still and glass containers confiscated during Prohibition, United States, 1922. The General Post Office sells off old telephone boxes at its Dagenham depot circa 1960. The child tenderly hugs and kisses the cat. A Night in the City, 1960s, photographed by František Dostal. Robin Williams with Friends, 1983. A young American boy examines radioactive samples from a chemistry set in 1950, wearing headphones connected to a Geiger counter, sensitive enough to detect radiation from a wristwatch. T-34 with concrete armor. A girl sits on an elephant and reads a book. Budapest during the Hungarian uprising of 1956. Number 2. Taxidermist's Department of the Kansas Pacific Railway, 1873. The aftermath of the German bombing of London. September 9th, 1940, Harrington Square, London. A mother and child prepare food while wearing gas masks. French countryside, World War I. Consequences of the War, 1919. Inside a small migrant tent camp in California, 1937. A migrant farm worker during the Great Depression with a woman believed to be his wife, resting inside the canvas shelter they called home. Mahatma Gandhi, average lawyer in South Africa, sitting in front of his office with his employees. Sailors from the battleship Sevastopol chip away ice from the ship's hull, Crimea, 1943. Sniper with a Zastava M76 from the Russian volunteer detachment's RDO-3 that fought for the army of Republika Srpska VRS in the Grbavica neighbourhood of Sarajevo during the Bosnian War, circa April 1994. Adolf Hitler returns triumphant from Czechoslovakia in Berlin at Gorlitzer Bahnhof, where he is greeted by Hermann Göring and his entourage. March 21st, 1939. A queue of people waiting to see British director David Lean's film The Sound Barrier, starring untold and Ralph Richardson, formed outside a cinema on Regent Street in London. Princess Diana Spencer, photographed on the 5th of November 1980. A girl carrying wood, pieces for heating, Munich, Germany, October 1945. Veronica Carlson and Kate O'Mara in a publicity photo from Hammer Films' The Horror of Frankenstein from 1970. Giant crosses formed by lights in the windows of New York City skyscrapers as Easter decorations in Manhattan's financial district, 1956. From the Summer People series, 1970, photographer František Dostal. The British battleship HMS Howe and an Egyptian fishing boat, little changed since the days of the Pharaohs, in the Suez Canal, July 14, 1944. Elizabeth Taylor as Queen Cleopatra of Egypt. Gary Sinise, early 1960s. Anita Ekberg in a photo for Paramount in 1955. A Bicycle Car, London, 1928. Fishermen's daughters playfully hang upside down from a wooden rack in the sand at Los Horcones, Chile, 1956, photographed by Sergio Larraín, capturing a fleeting moment of childhood freedom by the sea. Bonzo the Chimp, star for Universal International Pictures, is dressed up like a campaigning politician. Hippies at Woodstock, 1969. Nanwood Graham and Dr. Byron McKeeby pictured in 1942 recreating their original poses for the iconic American Gothic. She was the painter's sister, and he was their dentist. These kids helping their mother pro-segregation protester at the university with a prop. The same day the first 2 African-American students were admitted, January 20th, 1961. Transporting ice blocks in the early 20th century. The carrier USS Franklin approaches Manhattan as it prepares to dock at the Brooklyn Navy Yard, 1945. Her deck shows the melted and burned decking and aircraft parts resulting from a Japanese kamikaze attack. Arrow Tires, High Street, New Haven. Fire, 1976. Portrait of a Family, Florida circa 1900. Drew Barrymore, 1992. The Zepp diner was inspired by 1920s airships, but the diner itself emerged in the 1930s, Los Angeles, California. A frontline brigade of artists performs an acrobatic routine for soldiers of the 36th Guards Tank, Brigade of the 4th Guards Mechanized Corps of the 3rd Ukrainian Front near Razdolnaya Station, 1944. A girl kisses a French officer from the troops liberating Marseille, 1944. Sold in 1905 and now Street Cops by Jill Friedman, New York City, 1978 to 1981. USS Yorktown steaming across San Francisco Bay with a deckload full of jeeps, Dodge WC-51 carriers and other vehicles, September 15th, 1943. Westgate Theatre in Minnesota was showing Harold and Maude for 3 years running, and there was a protest in 1974. Finnish soldier during the Winter War, December of 1939. A message on a shell to German Nazis from workers at a British munitions factory, 1940s. Barton Aerodynamic, 1928, United States. Television host Oprah Winfrey in the early 1970s. Vivian Leigh on the set of Gone with the Wind, 1939. Funeral procession, a horse figurine intended for burning at the grave, Korea, early 20th century. A distracted man accidentally pours his beer on Chicago White Sox outfielder Al Smith, 1959. Stevie Wonder arrested for protesting apartheid, Washington, D.C., 1985. Portrait of a Harawa native of northern Nigeria with intricate face marks. Playgirl t-shirt design, 1977. That's Madonna, pictured here when she was 16, 1974. President John F. Kennedy leans over his desk in this iconic photo dubbed The Loneliest Job, February 11th, 1961. (1968) Rio de Janeiro student demonstration. Taiwan woman, Taiwan, late 1800s. Stele commemorating If Stalin's stay in Polyani, 1940s. Punk girls from the 1980s. Little Thieves in Search of a Treat, Scotland, 1911. Robert Wadlow, the tallest man in the world at only 13 years old, standing next to his father. Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man. His severe deformities manifested themselves in early childhood. After his mother's death, he was subjected to abuse and ended up in a circus act. First group selfie taken in December 1920 by 5 photographers from the Byron Company on a New York City rooftop. A woman fixing dinner on top of the bathtub, inside a tenement building on the Lower East Side, New York City in the 1940s. Boy and Dog, France, 1919. A soldier whose face was badly damaged in World War I tries on a mask made by the Red Cross, 1918. Families of Japanese ancestry at a railroad station in California, awaiting relocation after Pearl Harbor, 1942. Liverpool 1990s. Hysterical fans are apprehended by police during a Beatles concert in 1964. Tupac and Jada Pinkett at high school in Baltimore, Maryland in the 1980s. Early fat bike. Norma Jean Baker, later known as Marilyn Monroe, photographed as a teenager, circa 1940. November 19, 1863, Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. A column of the all-Union parachute sports section on Red Square on May 1, 1958. People wearing masks for Halloween. Destruction of the giant wooden Studebaker replica at Bendix Woods. The world's largest car, the Studebaker Company. Partisan parade in liberated Marseille, 1944. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton at her parents' house in 1970. Hiroyuki Sanada, 1992. King George VI of the United Kingdom photographed with his wife Elizabeth, Queen Consort, and children Princess Elizabeth later, Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Margaret on board the HMY Victoria, and Albert III in 1938. Japanese defector Minoru Wada directs a United States Air Force raid on Japanese Army headquarters, Philippines, 1944. Plane crash 1952. United States Park Rangers training with an early version of a Stokes litter, a type of rescue and transport basket, Yellowstone National Park, 1959. Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife from the window of their Chicago apartment, January 26, 1966. King moved into an apartment in a poor Chicago neighborhood to draw attention to the city's dire housing conditions. This is what it would have looked like if you were sitting in the audience during a taping of I Love Lucy. Late 1965 photo of the #1 Batmobile at the Batcave, Bronson Canyon in Los Angeles. Gay wedding in 1957. Demonstration of another invention, Los Angeles, 1924. Queen and Diego Maradona, Buenos Aires, 1981. A United States Army chaplain helps an old Vietnamese lady to safety in the heat of the Tet Offensive, Vietnam, 1968.